Hey guys, testing. This is Telex. Thanks for stopping by after the Scotch for Dummies show. Always a good one as usual. I love doing their. Let me turn the volume down here.
Hey guys,
1 second. There we go. Sorry about that. That was have a good show. Thanks for stopping by, Tom. And you guys were great recently. They were nice enough to send me a glass, and I really appreciate it. It's fun to trade stuff back and forth with you guys. I'll try to hook you up with some more salsa and see if we can get you something interesting. It's fun to find some interesting bottles. Andrew was asking me how I find some of this stuff, and you have to be lucky enough to find it online a lot of the times. And unfortunately, sometimes you get a good deal, and sometimes not so much. But I've got a couple ideas I'll share with you guys as far as places to get shipping. Now, I can't promise you they'll ship to Indiana. They do ship to Maryland, and if they do ship to Maryland, usually it's a good chance they'll ship to you too, because Maryland has some very strange county-based laws. It actually differs county to county here, not a state thing. It's a little strange. And hey, thanks a lot, Dram Dude, for stopping by. Yeah, I a little extra on these. Not as much as 200 or anything, but they were a little bit more than usual. And the reason being is I've got a good friend, and Leah has stopped by the channel as well. He's in a little group. He lives near me in Virginia, and we're trying to tackle all the distilleries in Scotland. By the end, I think, of next year, we'll be done. It's been a hell of a ride. I missed the first round or two, but I've been catching up with them on the side, trying to get some of the same bottles they've had, and it's been a fun ride. Then what we're going to look at tonight is the I'm not quite sure what order to do these in, because they're really similar. I'm thinking they're both Speysides. They're also both from Pernod Ricard, which is Chivas Brothers, and they use these malts. They're both malts. They're not greens. They're malts, and they're used in blends. So there's two things that kind of trouble me with looking at these. And the first thing is the unknown factor. They're not well-known distilleries that sell a lot in America that I know of. I have seen a Glen Keith 10, an old school version, floating around here and there, but it's hard to find. Same with the Tormore 12. I've seen a 12-year-old that's a distillery version, but not easy to find. They do have other years available for the Tormore, I've heard, but I've never seen one or seen one reviewed. The only ones I can find in this for these distilleries were independent bottlings, and that's my second fear factor. The exclusive malts, great, just great independent bottler. They always do a good job, so I'm not scared when I look at one of theirs. Same thing with Gordon MacPhail's. I haven't had a bad version of something that they've bottled, but I have had some interesting independent bottlings that were not so great. I had a Mortlock classic cask recently that it wasn't terrible. I gave it like a 3 out of 5. It just wasn't, didn't have the wow factor. It was an 11-year-old. It was savory. It was a little one-dimensional for me, and I think that's the reason why it kind of made me second guess independent bottlers. But there have been some great ones out there, like I mentioned earlier. But let's go ahead and while we're talking, let's open up one of these and get it sit. It's got to sit for a while. I should have done this a little earlier, but I wanted to make it known that I have not opened either one of these yet, and I'm going to be pouring Lee his samples right afterwards, so it's fresh right from the well, I don't have any fingernails. This makes it interesting. My pocket knife's upstairs, so that's always fun. Almost have it. There we go. But I pour right afterward, because it's always great to get a sample from an unopened bottle that's not been oxidized at all, that kind of thing. And I'm not sure what to expect with this. It's matured in oak casks, and I'll take a look at the bottle with you guys in a second. Ooh, I love that sound. This is a 21-year-old Scotch, and like I said, matured in oak cask. It's from 1995. It was distilled in 95. It's 43%, so it's not got a high ABV, unfortunately, but it's not as low as 40, so it could be worse. Now, Alexander Murray is not a independent bottler I've tried before. They do have lots available out there, so that might not be a bad thing. Basically, just states that Glen Keith has been around since 1960, rarely seen as a single malt. This whiskey is prized by Scotland's blenders. This 1995 vintage has a delicate and complex character, slightly only with pleasant green character. I'm not a big fan of greens. The Gravin is not my friend, so this could be an interesting venture. Vanilla-rich fruit and subtle oak provided nice complexity, faintest whips smoke, which that could be good. I like vanilla-rich fruit, oak, and some smoke, so I could be down with this. We're going to go neat, definitely, on a 43. We're not going to touch it with anything unless we think that it needs to open up with something else. Now, this other guy, we'll go ahead and pour this one too while we're waiting. I hate it when you get midway in it, the wax decides, the top decides to not open up for you. There we go. Sorry about that. Well, let's take the whole thing off, shall we? This is a little bit of a different beast here, and there's a main reason why. Barry's is also an independent bottler I've not tried before. They do have lots of different offerings out there I've seen, and that could be good. This guy is 54%. So we're talking, I don't know if you would call it cask strength, but it's pretty damn close if it's not cask strength. This guy is from a specific cask reference of 100, distilled in 1992, bottled in 2014, unchilled, filtered, uncolored, so that's great. 21 year, and a Tormore, also a Speyside. And trying to see if there's anything. Supposedly we'll get some tropical fruits, well integrated and rounded, with times of tannins, licorice emerges, adding an extra dimension. The palate is fruity and creamy with playful longevity, finishing with some balancing oak. That could be interesting. And I think this is going to be the best of the two, just going by, you know, your ABV strength, your unchill filtered uncolored. This guy, I'm not so sure. Not any darker than the other one. But let's see. They're really similar in color, so I would doubt that they would put coloring in this Glen Keith, but you never know when they don't say. The only way you can tell is if you know someone from Germany that has the same bottle, because they have to put the information on there. So but we'll look at that later. Let's go with the get a nose on the Glen Keith here. And thanks again for the glass, guys. It's very nice of you. Definitely check out Scotch for Dummies. They've got a nice merch store for shirts. I still got to pick up my Wheelhouse shirt. Wheelhouse, by the way. And I've got to pick up a marzipan. I know they got a good burnt toast and a cake batter, too. They got lots of good ones up there. I wonder if you guys, I'm not sure if you guys are selling any hats or not. I would like to get a hat. So I'll have to take a look at that. I'm not sure if you guys got one. I know you got the shirts, but I'm not sure if you have other merch up there yet or not. I'll have to take another look. It's been a little bit, so taking a look. Wow. This does have. Huh. Hope I didn't mix my glasses up. Being Speysides, they might have similar noses. Anyway, this one, I mean, this one talked about the tropical, but this one has more of a tropical nose. I mean, I get pineapple big time right off the bat. Coconut. some floral, but not earthy, not overly herbal properties, but floral, lavender. Mm, that's a nice nose. Let's see if you guys are paying attention. I'm pretty sure that this was with this bottle and this one was with this bottle. I'm just praying I didn't get mixed up here, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could tell. I'll definitely be able to tell by the ABV. I'm sure right off the bat of which one's which too. Anyway, because one with being the 54 and one the 43, it's not even close. Well, you can get a little bit of the alcohol, but it's not overpowering. So I'm thinking this is probably the 43. You actually get this. You do get a slight smoke, a little slight tobacco, kind of a real nice. I wouldn't say fresh cut cigars, anything like that, but more of like a fresh tobacco leaf outside, and in the springtime kind of thing. That's a nice nose. Let's go neat for the palate. Mm. Oh, that's different. Not in a bad way, just in a surprising way. Huh. It's good. The only thing that caught me off guard was the thinness of the mouth coat. I like a heavy, medium to heavy mouth coat. It wasn't like I mean the flavor is outstanding. We'll get that in a second, but the initial like oiliness wasn't as there as much as I expected. But that is a very nice complex palate. Wow. All those notes I was talking about with the tropical is still there. The tobacco smoke is more prominent on the palate for sure. Hmm. Got a little bit better with the second drink. Gave it, I guess, the mouth coat got a little bit better with that second coating. That has got some. It's not bad. There's some grapefruit in there. There's other citrus, some lemon, grapefruit. Thankfully, there's other ones besides grapefruit because I'm not a grapefruit fan by any means. It's not over. It's not off-putting though. It's got some banana. Wow, it's interesting because I never had a dram that has a really great like a fresh fruit cocktail met with like a smoky tobacco mix. It's an interesting combination. It's not bad. I'm wondering like, I mean, I know I like it. I'm wondering how much do I like it. That's the this is one of those that you might have to. I mean, it's 21 years old. You're gonna have to let it. I didn't let it sit out near as long as I should have. I'm sure, but the initial reaction is good. Thanks, Tomar. Yeah, I don't think I did either. Because if I drank this like I did if it's 54, there's just I would definitely. I think I would recognize it. Andrea Misty's kind with the two rolling. Oh, it's my mom. Hi, mom. Thanks for stopping by. My mom actually likes to stop by and visit the channel every once in a while. I hope you're doing okay. Mm. That grows on you. The only issue with this, if you're not a fan of that tobacco leaf tea earthiness with fruit, you're not going to enjoy it as much. But if that doesn't scare you off, I think it's a good dram. The finish is good too. I mean, for a 21-year-old, you expect it to be more of the mid-level fruit comes back. The oranges, butter. some creaminess remains. Medium length. I don't know if I'm going to say long, but still there though. The sweetness helps out the finish too. Medium to long, I'd say. That's a good one. Maybe have a little bit of water just to see if anything happens with it. Just out of curiosity. You never know. Might get some more floral or some herbal things going on with just a little bit. I mean, at 43%, you gotta go like very small, dime size drop, basically. Any smaller than that. Let's let that sit for a bit. Now this guy, the reason why I went with that first, because I'm going to go with a higher ABV second, and it being cask strength. No, the Glen Palate. Let's see if we got a chip nearby. I think I do. Oh, Mom's not drinking yet. Well, you'll have to get you some whatever you have, I guess. You make some really great sangria, so if you have any of that laying around, you might want to get some of that out. Excuse me for eating in front of you. I am too for you, Lee. I think you're going to enjoy this Glen Keith so far. I was not. It punches the hell out of that Mortlock 11. I can definitely tell you that. Not sure if it's just the age or distillery or what, but I think they did a nice pick on that. We'll let the water set a little bit more on that one. Get a little bit more water here. And then we'll go for the Tormore 21. It's amazing how similar the color is. So that's a good sign that if this is definitely marked as unchilled, filtered, uncolored, I have a feeling it's probably the same on that Alexander Murray Glen Keith 21. So this is the berries. I never had a berries. I think, Lee, you've had a berries before. I can't remember which distillery it was. I might be mistaken though. Let me know if you've already had a berries offering and if you enjoyed it or not. These guys do wine and spirit, different offerings there, it looks like. But around the 17th century. Huh. It's amazing how similar the noses are, but it is a Speyside versus a Speyside, so there you go. It too has the tropical. That's the first note, you know, in your head that when you go in. I'm not sure if that's a bad sign, but this nose seems a little more subtle than the lower ABV one. I'm not sure if I should be worried about that or not. Sometimes the higher ABV, the water is going to open it up more, so it might just need that. We'll go neat first, just to see, but I feel like it's closed off though. I think that the water is going to help this guy more. But pineapple and the coconut still, you know, it's so similar. I don't get the tobacco as much of the smoke on this guy. I think this has more of if you put more floral like honeysuckle. Like trying to remember maybe it's more balanced actually. Maybe that's you know, I think this is one that might have a little more confection, sugar, more sweet properties. We might get some tobacco in here too after we have a taste. Let's see. Let's get some creamy vanilla in there too on the nose. A little bit more. It is similar. The finish on this is the big difference maker. Wow. For 54%, no joke, this is not hot. This is not a burning. I mean, you could sip this neat and be more than fine. I mean, this is probably my third dram, but at the same time, it's not, you know, some 52 to 55%. You just the first drink and you're like, oh, you know, tame it down a little bit. This isn't like that. I do think that the nose is going to be helped out with the water. We'll have to do that next, but this is the first one I would say is more citrus related dram. This one's more of a sweet. The Tormore I'm going to say is a little more, has more powdered sugar, maybe some the light fructose corn syrup. Not corn, I shouldn't say corn, but the light sweet syrup. Not as thick as honey, but it's a lighter honeysuckle kind of a deal going on. So I can definitely see a lot of complexity, but they are different enough to make it, you know, one will definitely serve your mood, you know, more than a different another one. Let's put a little water on this and see what it does. And then we'll go back to the Glen Keith, see how that goes. Just a little bit. Get a little water too to cleanse a little bit here. Lee says that he sent the berries as the North British grain. Yeah, it's hard to gauge anything off a grain. That's what's tough about some of those independent bottlings, like the Battle. I think you did a Battle Hill one time, but it was the Invergordon. And I'm not going to knock Battle Hill just because I didn't enjoy that with particular whiskey that much, but I think I'm just not a big grain fan in general, and that's just, you know, for me, like bourbons, I'm not into grains. I'm not into, but I like rye. Rye is pretty decent, and I definitely love Scotch. So that's where my tastes are pretty much overall. This is back to the Glen Keith. It's still the tropical notes are still as heavy on this guy for 43%. I'm just so surprised at how intense it is, even with that water. Both the same ages. I don't know what year this was bottled with the Tormore. That's one difference that I do not know. I don't think it's going to be an easy way to find out on that, but that might be a difference maker. It's yeah, I don't think the water helped this much. I think I lost a lot of the on the palate, at least. I lost a lot of the nice citrus tropical qualities of it. It did bring out some savory notes, though. I definitely get a real thick sourdough bread from the water on the palate in this guy. It just become very vegetal. There's even some like green vegetables in there. Not as strong as a pea, but like maybe like a green bean or something. That's wild. Huh. It's amazing what you can get out of what water does to molecules and all that. Really, really changes it. If another berries coming this time, the Ben Ren is 17. Yeah, that I think, you know, they did a good job, I think, with this one. So, and Ben Rennes, I've heard, is like a dark horse. Like it's a good distillery, and it just doesn't have the fame. Whiskey Fest in Kentucky, September 10th through 16th. Oh, mine. I'm hitting one here in DC in April. So I think there's another one also in March, I want to say. I'm not sure if I could, I might have to try to make that September one, maybe figure out something there. Maybe Dave will want to come. I think he had fun on the first one when we went to Indianapolis. I know I had a hell of a time. For the experience, I would suggest maybe trying some water on it. It's not going to kill it as far as make it bad or. But if you're enjoying the citrus and the tropical notes, unless you want to go more savory, bread, vegetable, hold off the water on the Glen Keith on that. But it definitely makes it an interesting dram. I think I got a lot from it, just from a couple of drops of water. All right, well, let's go ahead and hit the berries with the Tormore 21 with the water and see what we get with that. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys, by the way. And hopefully, from my experience, you'll take a chance on some of these independent bottlers that and distilleries, really. If you with this, I didn't know either one, so it was kind of like a blind try. It's just interesting. This one says that it's a cask reference 100. I guess this one is a specific cask only, one draw. I'm trying to remember the price difference on this. Lee might have the information still up, but I'll have to see if I don't think there was a real big difference on it. I think it was around 140 to 150. I'm going by memory though. It's been a while since I actually picked these up because we're already on getting around 5 here pretty soon. These will be dealt with in the next week or so. So I need to cleanse the old palate again. I have to say I do enjoy these Speysides a lot more than a lot of the other areas. Lowlands are a little mild, typically. Highlands, but I like Campbelltown and good Speyside, man. That's where it's at. You're right, everyone. The March 2nd one was the other one I was thinking about, and I'll have to take a look and see what they've got going on. Did they announce their distilleries list? I think they might have. I'm not quite sure. Oh, mine. All right. Let's go back to the Tormore 21. Wow. Never thought I'd be able to find a 21-year-old whiskey that's affordable, but they are out there. You got to do some digging. You got to be willing to take a chance on a distillery that you might not know. You're never going to, spend under $400 or $500 for a Highland Park that's 21 years old, I'm sure. I think that's probably, since their 25 is around 500 to 600, is probably about, I'm sure it's got to be 3 or 4 out for their 21. I don't think they sell the 21 as much anymore as they used to, but that's one I have not tried yet. So maybe I'll be able to find a way to try that. Lee was gracious enough to send that 25, and that 25 was one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. I mean, it's tough because like the Dark Cove committee release from Ardbeg is my favorite of all whiskeys, but the 18 from Highland Park was always my number 2. But that 25 I think edged it out with the tropical notes on it. So I'm gonna have to say that's my second favorite whiskey I've ever had. And I'm up to like 130 different ones. So that's saying something. This one definitely has more with the water. It brings out more, I want to say mid-level fruit, but on the lighter end as far as like honeydews, cantaloupes, watermelon, things of that nature. It's so mild for a 54% whiskey. That's what's really strange to me. Regarding the flavor of it, but I mean the alcohol burn's there, but it's not near as much as I thought it was going to be. This definitely has more creamy finish to it, with the same fruit lingering, but it has vanilla and that confection finish too, still going that powdered sugar. They're both good. The weird thing is, I might actually enjoy the Glen Keith 21 more. It's close. It's. I mean, I do appreciate the vanilla sweetness in everything I do get from the Tormore, but the Glen Keith was more assertive with flavor. For a 43% whiskey, it just doesn't make sense to me unless I messed up and switched the glasses. I don't think I did, though. Anything's possible, but I'm definitely going to have another pour just to make sure I didn't mess up. Let's do that now, just to make sure I didn't mess anything up, because that's just amazing that of the difference, the enjoyment factor on a 43%, man, that tells you maybe this is a 95 and this is bottled a lot later on. That's possible. And if that's the case, of course, the 95 bottling, they might have just done a better, had better casks, better, methods with their distillation process back then. I don't know. Yeah. No, that is definitely the berries, Tormore 21. So I think I'm going to have to actually say the winning dram here is the Glen Keith 21, 1995, 43%, matured in oak casks, and go with that. This is also an oak, the Tormore, 21 years. It's just a little more. It's a little more of the sweetness, a little more of the vegetal thing going on, and what I like about the Glen Keith more is the tropical, and the overall strength, and the mouth coat is just builds and gets better. The Tormore 21, the mouth coat wasn't any better to me. But it's not bad. If I had to rate these, wow. Yeah, the berries just has a little more of it's not metallic, not as bad as that, but it's got some astringent qualities to the finish on it a little bit. And I think it's where the vegetal is coming in with the sweetness, and it's just kind of not gelling as much as the Glen Keith. So the Glen Keith is definitely at least a 4 out of 5. I'm thinking 4.25 out of 5 for me. The Tormore 21, I'm thinking is going to be maybe a 3.75. 3.75 to 4 if I'm feeling generous, but I think definitely a 4.25 at least on the Glen Keith. And the more I might have of it later after I pour some samples, the more it actually might grow in me. I might even actually get it up to a 4.5. So you never know. Night, Mom. See you later. Thanks for stopping by. It's so funny that you like to come to the channel. But thanks for hanging out, guys, and hopefully get a chance to check one of these out. I definitely would go with the Glen Keith. I have had another one at a local store. They had a Glen Keith. It was a 20. I'm trying to remember if it was 21. Lee, you might remember. I sent you a picture when I had a sample. They gave me a sample of that Malt Man. It was a Glen Keith. I think it was a 22. I think it was 1996. Something really similar. And I mean, the taste was good, but I don't think it was as good as this one. I really don't. I'm glad I held out and got this one, and it was a lot cheaper. I think they went $200 for the Glen Keith that I saw in the store. This one, even ordering it online, I think I saved still $50. So that definitely tells you something. Just because it's easy to get local doesn't mean it's always the best option if you've got online abilities. So, but thanks so much for stopping by, Lee, and hope you had fun. I'm looking to see if we got 5 people still around. Hey, Dave, I see that you're still there too, and yeah, that price was too high on the other one. Lee was green. Yeah, Chris, we'll have to get some lunch together when we're up at work sometime. I'll be meaning to give you a call. It's been pretty crazy at work. I've been on a roll of getting reviews and doing it's called a JPP. It's our performance plan for the next year and that kind of stuff. So it's been kind of crazy. I know you were out of town, so but hopefully we'll be able to hook up soon. And yeah, I got a good review, got an excellent, so I'm happy. Got a bit of a raise, so that's always good. Oh, thanks, Dram Dude, for kicking by. And hey, Dram, have you had either Glen Keith or Tormore by chance? I'm just curious if you've already had one of those two. If you have, I'm interested to see what you thought, of the qualities of the difference of the two. If you haven't and do by chance get them, let me know what you think, because I'm curious if I had this similar experience with the Tormore versus the Glen Keith. Great distilleries, I'm surprised that the Glen Keith is used for blends. It's kind of weird because there's a lot going on in that. I mean, I know it's a 21-year-old whiskey, but even their 16, I would think would be pretty good, pretty complex, but I don't know. I guess there is a big difference between the Highland Park 15 and the 18 when you think about it. So it's amazing what 3 years can do if you do it right. Oh, Drama hasn't had either one. Well, if you ever get a chance, let me know what you think of either one. If you like Speysides, I think you'll be in for a treat for either one. I personally like the Glen Keith a little more, but if you like the sweet vegetal kind of dram, you might lean towards the Tormore. Actually, it's a more savory deal, kind of reminiscent more towards the Mortlock. But I do like a lot of the tropical stuff that's still going on there, which it is better than the Mortlock 11 at least that I had. So, well, thanks for stopping by, guys. Fair winds, and and hopefully I'll catch you guys on the next one. And I'm gonna try to do I keep meaning to do like a Tuesday night, like a surprise show or something, but it's hard sometimes to get the time to do it. But it's always fun. I'm off tomorrow, and I've got a friend I haven't seen since 2001 or two. I met him when I worked in Oklahoma City back in the 90s. I used to work for America Online back in the day. Old friend Dwayne Navarre. I told him I was going to be doing this tonight. I'm not sure if he's watching, but if not, I'll see you. We're going to meet up and get on the. I do ham radio operations for fun from the vehicle sometimes. So we're going to get out to go to a park and try to talk to the world, and so hopefully that goes well. And I might offer him a couple drams of scotch. I'm not sure if he drinks, but we'll see. He wasn't much of a drinker back in the day. I think he offered to get a beer with me or something, so maybe I can talk him into having a dram or something. That'll be interesting. Everyone says could only get a fraction of it. VIPs, check out the website. Okay, I'll check out that website and see what the distilleries lists are on that. And looking forward to hanging out with Lee and Paul in April. And Prane, hopefully, if you're watching after the fact, hopefully we'll get to hook up, hang out, you and Scott sometime as well. Sláinte mhath, everybody.